My name is Sarah. I would love to welcome everyone who is present. I know it is a Sunday and everybody's there busy, probably, cooking their Sunday dinner, so thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Okay, so my co-host is Shemar. Shemar.
Hello, hello. Good afternoon. How are we all doing today? I am very happy to be here with you again, Sarah. So looking forward to a lovely, lovely webinar.
Okay. So we're going to begin with a quick icebreaker. So Shamar, please lead into the icebreaker.
Most definitely. All right. So this segment is one of my favorite segments. It is where I throw questions out to the crowd and they will be would you rather questions. It really gets us thinking about what we really want to do when we're presented with two options. So I'm going to go ahead to throw out the icebreaker question here. So would you rather be the absolute best at something that no one takes seriously or be average at something well respected? I'm going to read that one more time. Would you rather be the absolute best at something that no one takes seriously or be average at something well respected? And you can feel free to give your answers in the chat and we will take it from there. So one more time, would you rather be the absolute best at something that you think no one really takes seriously, or would you rather be average at something that is well respected? I'm seeing that Miss D is saying that that's a tough one. It actually is a very heavy one, actually. Gets us really thinking of would we want to present ourselves at our absolute best, knowing that this is something that we can really do to the best of our abilities, or would we rather settle to just be within the crowd, to just be average and to just do something that is well respected? How do we feel about that? Personally, for me, I'm really not even sure. I want to say be average. And I'm seeing some people saying be average, as is Sarah that said be average. Anthony is still giving it a thought. Khalil says to be the very best. He wants to be the very best that no one ever was. All right, so Tasha Russell says absolute best. Being average seems too typical, never settle for less. That's so true, Tasha. Really good message that you're sending there. Thank you. And Anthony has decided to say best, to be his absolute best. Aaron has said both. Aaron couldn't choose one, so he decided to say both. All right, I think that was a real scratch or head scratcher. So I'm going to hit you guys with another question, which is going to be, would you rather have a pause or a rewind button in your own life? Would you rather have a pause button or would you want to have a rewind button in your life? There's a button you can just press and say, all right, I want to pause time, I want to pause a day, or I can, press my rewind button and go back. I see Aaron saying that he wants to rewind. Miss D says she wants to pause. Sarah said that she would like to pause. Janice is saying that she would like to use her rewind button, as well as Anthony would like to use a rewind button. T. Russell, rewind. Some memories need to be relived. I really appreciate that one. And Khalil says pause. Jacqueline says, depending on the situation, and I understand right there, because it's so funny that we can put a pause to certain things, but at the same time want to also go back in time to kind of fix certain things. But we can't really do that in the world that we live in today. All right, so I'm gonna hit you guys up with two more icebreakers. All right, ready up again. So would you rather never be able to go out during the day or never be able to go out at night? I feel like I could do without going out during the daytime. Yeah, Miss D said it right there. Vampire to my thing, sun's too hot. Khalil said never. Oh, he's repeating the question for us. So would you rather never be able to go out during the day or never be able to go out during night? Sarah said that she would prefer not to go out in the night. Aaron says that he can stay home. Aaron says that he can stay home in the night. For me, I definitely would rather go out at night than to not go out in the day, because I understand the sun situation. Helen said outside is bright and loud. Understood. Anthony said that he has no restrictions. All right. So being that you said you have no restrictions, Anthony, maybe this icebreaker will really be that one for you to be like, let me really think about this. So the last icebreaker I have for everybody today is, would you rather lose your sight or your memories? You know, would you rather lose your own sight, being unable to see, or losing your memories? You have no recollection of who you are. You have no recollection of where you are, people around you. What was that, Jacqueline?
I'm keeping my sight and my memory. No, making no choice. Sorry, very sorry. Not
that one at all. Yeah, man, that's a difficult one.
At all.
Yeah, I definitely, that would have been so traumatic, and swear. All right, let me look and see what's happening in the chat here. So Aaron asked a very good question. Can I make new memories? That's a good one. That's a good one. All right, Aaron says that he would rather lose his sight. Tasha said that she would rather keep the memories, but sight is important too. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky. That one is a hard one. Yeah. So Anthony had said memory. So yeah, that one is really a really difficult one. So for me, I wouldn't even know what to choose. Like, Anthony had said it, you know, you will remember that you lost your memory. So that's a good way of looking at it too. All right, that was some real good responses, guys. I appreciate each and every one of them. Thank you guys so much for your feedback. And with that being said, we're going to jump right into the next segment of our lovely Sunday webinar session, where I'm now passing back things over to my lovely co-host, Sarah Bennett, who will then introduce our lovely guest speaker who is here with us today. Sarah?
All right, thank you so much, Shamar. All right, so I'm going to be introducing the guest speaker, Ms. Jaqueline Bryan. So I'm just going to read a brief bio. So Jaqueline Bryan is a social worker, guidance counselor, holistic coach, motivational speaker, and photographer. She is currently a guidance counselor at the Haile Selassie High School, programs coordinator at YMCA, and National Youth Service Center manager at the Women's Resource and Outreach Center. Her hobbies are reading, dancing, listening to music, going to the beach, and traveling. Welcome, Ms. Jaqueline Bryan. Ms. Bryan, you can take it over.
Okay, I started chatting and not realizing that I was muted. Technology sometimes. All right, thank you, everybody. The icebreaker, I had an icebreaker in my thing, but the icebreaker kind of talk in terms of stress. Oh, let me so everybody can see me. There I am, and I'm properly. Oh, just a minute. Let me fix this. Yeah. All right. Everybody able to see me now? Yeah. Yeah, that's me. Right. Okay. No, I should have. Okay. So that was very stressful when you asked about losing your eyesight and your memory. That was a kind of bit of stressful thing for me. So I definitely do not want to lose my eyesight, nor do I want to lose my memory. But I want to ask the question, and persons can respond. How was COVID for you?
Depressing. If I could use one word, it was.
Somebody said, look at them books. Yes, and I've read most of them.
Oh, we have some bookworms here, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've read them. I read at least 2 books a day.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
That should be my next year.
Okay,
That's
somebody
awesome.
says stressful. All right, hear the word coming up. Stressful. It's a depressing for real. Right. Okay. All right. And that's what I want to talk about. So if we can share my PowerPoint, somebody has the PowerPoint. Next level stress, Miss D. All right, next level stress. Oh yeah. And as much as I do this very often, I stress about it so much. Yeah. Can you managing stress and burnout? That is what we're here to talk about. Let me see if I can open mine on my right side as well. All right. I'm going to put in the chat a Google link. Let's hope I can do that. Oh no, it's not allowing me to paste it. There, oh there, oh there. I'm trying to paste. No, it's not allowing me to paste. How do I get this to everybody now? I wanted to send a Google link, which is a pre-survey, because I hadn't sent it in the PowerPoint because I wasn't sure how it would have. I didn't send it as an hyperlink in the PowerPoint. I'd hoped that I could have shared it in the chat.
Send it to us via email and we'll have it over in the chat.
All right, fine, no problem. I'll do that right now, this very, very minute. But talking about COVID being very stressful, for some, it depends on how you look at it, right? All right, there it is. I'm sending it now, right? I'm sending it now. And where is my, yes, where is my PowerPoint? Oh, come on, where are you going now over there? So, all right. Yes, so COVID was next level stress for some persons. Okay, somebody said no stress at all. The introverted in me.
Yes.
Yeah.
The introvert. Yes. No stress.
Right. No stress. That's cool. So that's it. Stress is normal. It's a normal part of who you are. Right. And it causes for some people any type of change, whether physical, and COVID was a change, right? And it affected us physically, it affected us emotionally, it affected us psychologically, but stress is normal. Our body is designed to experience stress, and it's how we react. Anybody else ever heard the term eustress? Anybody ever heard the term eustress? Eustress is the opposite of distress, right? Oh. And it's how you experience. All right, let me get here now. Eustress is that feeling that you get, that butterfly in your stomach when you're anticipating your first kiss. You know, you see a guy you like or a girl you like or whatever, and you've been going out with this person, and the first time that you're thinking about that kiss. So that's the eustress part of things. That excitement it gives you. It's stressful, right? But it is exciting, that butterfly in your stomach. It motivates you to act. It increases your excitement, and sometimes it improves your performance, whether your performance is at work or if you're going before you're going to do a recital, dance recital. I taught dance because dance is for me all the time. So when you're going to do a dance recital and you're all anxious and nervous, and I tell everybody that you get stressed at every performance, no matter what. you're doing. And even me doing this, I get stressed. Okay, she's posted the test. So can we all do that? Let me stop talking and then I'll allow persons to do that. When you're complete, then we can continue. Okay, I see where 2 persons have completed. Waiting for the others. All right, we have had persons responding and 70% says both, that good stress is good for you and bad for you. And the question, can you feel stress in your body? We had 10% saying not sure, 90% says yes. All right. Can you identify things that stress you out? 90% says yes. Okay, fine. And healthy coping skills are methods to deal with stress without causing more damage. That's true. Very, very much true. All right. Which one is a healthy coping skills? And we talked about, so we're going to go down to that. All right. So as I was saying, that eustress is stress that increases excitement. It's stress that when we're going to do a performance, whether it's dancing or singing or being a presenter, like no, persons can get very stressed. It's your reaction that makes the difference in terms of what stress is. It's your reaction that makes the difference where stress is concerned. Right? We're going to continue to talk about what is stress and how you respond to stress is what makes it. Stress is the tip on the iceberg. And it's a small, and it can lead to burnout if you don't manage your stress. You don't manage your stress, It can lead to burnout. And we're going to go to what is burnout. Burnout is considered a prolonged distress, and it's a negative stress that we're talking about here now. Whereas we said stress is positive, de-stress is negative. Burnout is what it is. And it's when you're exposed to particular stressors, constant stressors. It's chronic. It's when you're not managing your stress at the very beginning. And it's over a longer period of time. So it's considered prolonged distress. And originally, the psychologist, Christian Maslark, defined it as a response to long-term emotional and interpersonal stressors on the job. So it was mainly seen as but you can have stressful situation, not only on the job, but at home and in situation as well. So the first research was talking about stress at the workplace and how it applies to your working environment. Reason for this is that we spend more time at work than we spend anywhere else. No matter how you take, no matter how you take it, you spend for those persons who don't want to go out in the day, whether you work at day or you work at night. Stressors happen, burnout happen mainly because of your work situation. You don't feel motivated anymore. You don't feel like that anymore. So it makes you feel unpleasant. It makes you feel bad. It may lead to your performance dropping. It may lead to you being very irritable. And you come to work and them say, but I was going with she. All of a sudden, she just a back off of people, so, you know? And you become you're not normally like that. But because you're experiencing burnouts, you become unpleasant. Anybody here, show of hands, have problems sleeping? Seen any response? Yes, I see one person. That could be a response to stress. It disturbs your sleep pattern. It changes. You might sleep for a very short time and then you wake up and you can't go back to sleep. Who love food? All right. So the food is them in the house. But burnout can affect your appetite, your love for food, not wanting to eat. So so you look at when you're experiencing these things, things that you like to do, you enjoy doing, because some people will sleep. That ask them, what is their favorite part? And then tell me, say sleep. And you're experiencing burnout, so the sleep goes. For some people, yes, burnout might make them eat more because they see eating as a coping, not a healthy coping habit. You're stressed, so you eat more. You're burnout, so you're eating more. So you're using food as the reason to deal with the stress that you're and it's not a good coping mechanism because it can lead to overweight and so on. So that is it. It can also make you eat more, for sure. I'll answer the questions as they pop up and as I see them. So it disturbs your appetite, it disturbs your sleeping pattern, it makes you irritable. it 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 causes you to feel irritable, and then you share that irritation with others. It also affects your, another thing it affects is your physical. It increases your high blood pressure, right? It makes you anxious. It makes you depressed. It makes you have headaches, migraines. So if your mood swings, if it is that you never used to have so much headaches before, but then all of a sudden you're having headaches to the point of migraine where you have to be in a dark room in order for this headache to go away, and the headache lasts for days, then that's a part of being burnout. It also makes you very hypervigilant. It makes you jump at the sound of some things that would have not normally bothered you in the first place. It makes you paranoid. And one of the things that it also does in terms of your emotions is that makes you pull away from people. It makes you pull away. Am I to unmute somebody? So, and it can lead to heart issues. So we're talking about health, your physical, which is physical health, heart problem, hypertension, diabetes, being anxious, depression, headaches, and your digestion is interrupted with that. And as I said before, that most of the time, distress and burnout happens at your workplace, but it can also, you can become distressed based on the fact that you have some health condition. So it's a circle. You are having burnout, which leads to you becoming unhealthy. And then being unhealthy can also make you have more health condition. If you're having relationship challenges, those are some of the things that can cause you distress, which is leading to burnout. For young people, bullying experience, well, not for young people, because there are adults who experience bullying. It depends on how the bullying happens for an adult. When you experience loss, grieve, because you can have grieving, and this is a distressing situation because you've lost a loved one, you've lost a job, you've lost a relationship. So relationships, when we talk about losses and grieving, it's not only when somebody dies, it's losing a friendship, losing a spouse, losing something that is very special to you. So when we talk about losses, financial challenges can lead to you distress, but can have burnout, because then if you're not seeing it, you're not be able to navigate. Persons talking about war-torn countries, war can lead to you having burnout. Natural disasters like COVID. There are points where I say, boy, I'm dying for the COVID over because we can't take the lockdown, being able to go anywhere, not being able to experience in certain things. I remember having classes with my students, and I said, Miss, where COVID not go back, which part it come from? We tired to stay at home and be online and not seeing my friend. Burnout can happen. You can get distress from lack of rest or heavy workload, which I mentioned the sleeping issues, and your mind, your mental state, negative thoughts. Negative talks can be what you kind of experience with that can lead to you having distress, would lead to burnout. So it's stress, distress, prolonged stress leads to distress, which prolonged distress leads to burnout. So we have to learn how to balance all of this, right? Persons who live with chronic pain. And for in illnesses that you're there with, caregivers who have to deal with family members who have lifestyle or life-threatening disease, persons who have cancer, persons who have issues with their kidneys, and the person who has to take care of them, the caregiver who has to take care of their family members, that can lead to persons having burnout because it restricts your movement, it restricts the things that you have to do, and you're constantly taking care of your family members. So we encourage persons who are caregivers in that light, that you have a time, I know I'm going into tips and I haven't reached there yet. You have a time where you, one day out of the week, you ask another family member, if it is that you have one, or a very good friend, or if you're attached to a church, you can ask your church brothers or sisters to say, okay, one day in the week, can I ask somebody to come and give me at least an hour away from the person my family member that I'm taking care of? Or I've been researching and looking at, there are nursing homes that would offer a one-day daycare center. So having somebody when we're talking about the bullying, somebody deliberately mistreating you or ignoring you. You have done a very good job on a project. You have completed the deadline on time, and nobody acknowledges that you have done this. Nobody acknowledges that you have completed the task that you were assigned, whether it's at school, if you're a student, or whether at work, and you have done it on time and very well. So that can lead to you being very distressed, and that distress leads to you burnout because nobody appreciates what I do. Nobody thinks about what I do in terms of that. We live in Jamaica where the main thing that we have is issue that everybody asks about. What's the main problem that we have that everybody talks about? Anybody want to share?
Crime and violence.
Exactly. Number one. And you do not know how much it distresses you until you're in an environment where you don't have to be so hypervigilant. Because we talked about one of the part of burnout is hypervigilance. And you're hypervigilant because you are worried that somebody's going to break into your home, or whether you're walking home late at night, or you have to move from one place late at night and you're not sure about the taxi that you're taking, if you're taking a taxi, or if you're in a space that somebody can come and it's not safe, in a space that some persons become recluse and stay home and don't go anywhere, which leads to distress and lead to the burnout happening. So those are some of the things that leads to burnout. And as I said, it's considered prolonged distress and it's negative stress that we have. All right. So here we are now, tips to manage stress. And as they show that PowerPoint, that's my photograph that I'm taking. I did that down at Liko Ochi one evening at Susa, and that's one of the ways that I manage stress. Photography is one of the things. So part and parcel of managing stress, and we go down, we talk about doing something that my photography is something that I enjoy and love. I've been told by persons, I'm not fully dressed unless they see me with a camera. So I'm all the time having camera. So other tips are positive self-talk, because we talk about the negative self-talk. So now we have to positively talk to ourselves, encourage ourselves. encourage ourselves. Cannot. Affirmation, go in front of your mirror and stand up and say, I am beautiful. I am wonderful. I am awesome. Journal it. Get a book and a pen and a pencil and write down. Use your, I tell my clients, use your name and every letter in your name. And if you're going to use only your first name, or you're going to use, if you have a middle name, use it as well, or your surname. Use every letter in your name and positive adjectives that describe you, and write them down. And write them down and hold on to those and choose which one you're going to affirm yourself with that on a particular day. Right? Choose it. So start there. Start with your first name first, and then you can go on to your middle name if you have one, and then go on to your surname. But start with the first letter in your name and make a positive letter, and then you go through 7 days of the week until you have exhausted it, and you go back again, because there's always some things. Exercise. Some of us don't like to exercise. Some of us are couch potatoes. But there are exercises that you can do seated. So even if you're a couch potato, you can do some seating exercise. You can sit in a chair right now. So let's do that now. I want everybody, if it is all possible, to open your cameras, and we're going to do some exercise. Sit in our chair. So this is the interact part that I'm going to ask. Yes, ma'am. Sounds like practicing self-love helps to manage stress. Anybody up for us now to do some seated exercise?
Sure, let's do it.
Let's do it. So can we open our cameras if you're presentable? Some of us maybe never know that. I was going to ask for us to do that. All right. I'm not seeing. I want to see my participants. I want to, you see, when I see you, then I'm going to be motivated to do this. So, oh, Anthony said not presentable. So anybody who's presentable, let's go. Oh, come on, my namesake, no presentable. Okay. All right, then all right. So not presentable. If anybody else is presentable, Miss Sarah, you're presentable, can do demonstration too.
Are you seeing me?
I think so. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to put our hands, the palm of our hands, on our thigh. Right? So make sure you have enough space, and make sure your feet are firmly on the ground. Right? And then we are going to move our head to the right. Gently move it to the right to a count, and then we bring it back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to the center. To the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to the center. And then you put your chin down for 5. And your chin all the way up to the ceiling, and stretch your back. Remember, your hands are on your thighs. Stretch that back. Stretch it. Feel the pull. Hold on to your knees if you have to, and pull. Just stretch. And then you bring it right back down to your chin. Not very stressful. Carry it back, and then you're going to curve all the way down. And you're going to pull your stomach in. Pull your stomach in. While you do that, your arms are going to raise a little bit. the elbow. And then you come back up. Taking a deep breath while you're doing that. And you go up. You feel the muscle stretching in your back. Feel that. Your feet firmly, keep your feet firmly on the ground. Stretch, 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 stretch. That was 5. You come back down. Taking a deep breath while you're doing all of this. Eyes closed is good too, if you want to. All right. And then we're going to raise our hands up, 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 and spread your fingers wide. Spread them, and then you're going to take it down to your side. Take them down to your side. All right. And you're going to go back up again. Spread the fingers wide. Spread them wide. Spread out your fingers. Spread it out. Right? And then you bring them back to your knees. And we're going to roll the shoulder. Roll them, roll them, roll them, roll them. Roll them, yeah. Roll them, roll them. Roll it, roll it. Roll them. Roll those shoulders. Because most of the times, our stress is actually in our neck, which is why I'm doing a lot of these exercises. We find our stress level from the back of our neck, go down to our shoulders, into our back. That's where we carry our stresses. We feel them in our back, all the way down from our neck. Okay? All right, now. Then, my finger lift up. All right, now. You put your hand at your waist and you go over to your right side like that. Do that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Over to the other side. And you come back up. And then you go. All right? Okay. Then I'm going to ask you to turn your ankles. 5. Turn them. Remember, we're doing this seated. And this is something that you can do while you're working. You're typing on the computer and you're just turning your ankles. Turning your ankles. Turning your ankles. The same thing with the neck exercises. You're typing and you just switch like that and that. You know? It can just for 5 minutes. And you do everything for a count of 5. Just take that break, the exercise. So the neck, the shoulders, the waist, your ankles, because you feel all of your stress goes down to your foot bottom. Then at the end of the day, your feet them hurt you. And your feet them hurt you real bad because your stress goes down from your neck, and then you feel it also in your foot bottom. So you circle those ankles, circle them, all right? And you lift up your feet now, go onto your toes. You're still sitting, right? Till you feel, lift them up and sit on your tippy toe while you're still sitting. So you don't have to do also any kind of stressful exercise, right? And then you put back your heels, you put your heel back on the ground. Right? And then you put your toes on the ground, your heel on the ground, your toes on the ground, your heel on the ground. And there we have it. Just some simple exercises that you can do to get rid of the stress. Walking is very good as an exercise. Okay. All right. Now, the other thing that I want you to do is breathing exercise. You're going to put your hand on your chest right here. And you're going to take a deep breath in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you let it out. Because when we get anxious, one of the things that we lose is our breath. Our breath is our greatest source of energy. The air that we breathe go into our blood vessels. So yeah. Breathe in, feel it. All right, now you're going to also put your hand on your stomach and hold that stomach as well. Up and down. Breathe in, breathe out. And just enjoy that breath. In and out. Okay. Thank you very much for that. The other part of managing our stress is time management. And a lot of us are not good at it. I'm speaking to the converted. I'm not very good at the time management either, but I'm getting there. So I have to manage our time. And what you can do in managing your time, asking somebody to help you. If you have a good coworker at work, be my accountability partner. Help me to manage my time. Help me to, somebody say, Aaron is asking for help. Help me to manage my time, right? Help me to manage my time, keep me on track, because I'm not going to do that. One of the ways we can use to manage our time is our cell phone. Use our cell phone, set our appointments, set our times, and let it give you, a week in advance, a day, your timelines, so on. Take a break. Take a break. You're at work and you're stressed out, get up from around the desk. I advise people, do not eat your lunch at your desk, no matter what the deadline is, no matter what it is. If it's even half an hour break that you get for lunch, take it. If you only get half an hour break for lunch, take the break. And no matter what is happening, there are times when I just come out of my office, come off of the school compound and go down the road. Go down the road and come back up. Miss, where you're going? Soon come back. Soon come back. Walk over. Or I move from my office. If it is that is such a time, I move from my office and I go to another department. I always love to go to the Cosmo department. I'm very privileged. And I go up there and I schedule an appointment. Manicure, pedicure, because the students always want a guinea pig and I avail myself of being the guinea pig. So come and practice on my fingers and practice on my toes. And I get there. Or I want a shampoo. Gentlemen, go to the barber. It's a nice haircut. Shave the face. Even if you do it for yourself sometimes. At least once a month, go to the barber and you sit down. You see, when you sit down in the barber shop, you hear all kind of conversation going on. You know how much it de-stresses you to listen to all of the arms house conversation? And laugh, and even when you all cuss about something, you agree and you disagree. The adrenaline pumps up. Pump up the adrenaline. You go to the barber shop. That's why we ladies like to go to the hairdresser, because when we go to the hairdresser, and we feel the massage of the scalp. I don't know if when them cut your hair, them do them things there. When them men, Shamar, when them cut your hair, what do they do? Tell me, give me some information.
No, man. Depending on which barber you go to, you may get that like a treatment. So for example, you get maybe a hot towel after you shave, and it's like a hot towel, and rest time, it feels fresh. And sometimes, depending on the barber, them can do like a detailing and them line up and them do the sponge and them make the hair look curly.
Oh.
Yeah. Depends
So
on
treat yourself, gentlemen, treat yourself to that. I also, once a month, I don't care what is happening. I'm finding, I plan it in advance. I find a restaurant where I want to go try out. And if it's me alone, go by my lonesome self, I don't mean it. And if the budget's too tight this month, because I have certain little things to do, because sometimes some things just unexpectedly drop in your lap. If I even find myself a Mother's and buy one patty meal. If it's even to find myself a Mother's and buy a patty meal with two patty, I buy fish patty and soy patty. And I being that I'm diabetic, I make sure, oh Lord, somebody said preach. All right, I'm preaching. And I go and them always look at me strange, you know. I said, I would like water in the cup because I'm diabetic, so I can't have the sweet juice. So I'm thinking of my health. So I said, can I have some water in the cup? I said, you sure? Yes, water in the cup, please. I don't want any juice. I want water in the cup. And I sit down there. I don't leave. I sit down inside there because if my budget only reached to Mothers, it's Mothers that month or Tasties, whichever one I like. Mothers that month or Tasties that month. I buy myself a meal and I sit down in there and I eat. So that's how you take a break. One of the things we've done at work too is that a group of us sometimes decide on, so it's nice when you can do it and you say, look here, this month the budget is Tasties. So this Friday evening after work, I just said the whole way head for. I will go buy and sit down and eat and laugh and chat and get rid of the work stress. See your colleagues outside of the workplace and have that kind of taking a break with your colleagues and building conversation and sharing with them how you do this. So those are just some of the things. Anybody has any idea of how they take breaks? How they cope with their stress they want to share?
I do taekwondo.
What? Talk to me. Yeah, that is very good. That's very, but you see what you're doing? You're doing the exercise as well and taking the break by doing taekwondo. All when we did talk earlier about some people and them sleeping thing. So somebody in the group said them sleep. You weren't here when we were talking about the sleeping thing. Say sleep. Anything else or any other way that you take a break?
I like to go outside in nature or I knit.
Okay, all right, fine. Oh yes, I taken up the habit of crochet recently. Getting there. So I soon join you with the knitting club thing. You understand?
Crochet too, you know. Can teach you crochet too.
No problem. There. So that's another way. Play games, play video games. Hello. That going to affect your eye, Shamar. So too much of that. Too much of the video game. You need to go join Miss D where they go and walk to the nature. Right? That would include.
I do that too. I do that too.
Right? Build or fix something. What kind of thing you build or fix? Anthony, that is. Anthony, what kind of thing do you build or fix? Want to share that? Oh, learn a new dance. All right, Campbell, me and you ready for the new dance? Ready? Ready for the new dance. We are ready. Learn the new dance. Right? Ready to learn the new dance for sure. Okay. So we have picked up on and music, which is the combination of the dance now. You know we're Jamaican. As we hear one little jump and knock, we start move. Right? Okay. Anthony said many things in terms of the building. I'm a technician and into DIY. Very good. You understand? So that's how we take break. Now the music part of it in dealing with the stress, you know, there are music that you can listen to that calms you down. Music and your music and your brain. Okay, so I just lost something a while ago. Okay, fine. Let me move this over. Right. And as I said, music on your brain, let me see if, is it possible? I should have sent this to you, know. Sure. There's a video that I wanted to play. All right, let me see if I find it. Because somebody mentioned dance, so that put me in my mood. Because that's my favorite thing. Let me go where my history, watch history. Yeah, here it is. Let me see if I can share this. Oh boy.
You got a new way of talking. You got the better of me. Just like your
Oh no, sorry.
fingers and I'm walking like a dog hanging on your lead.
Are you seeing it?
Yes.
You make me feel like dancing. I wanna dance the night away. You make me feel like dancing. I wanna dance the night away. You make me feel like dancing. I feel like dancing, dancing, dance the night away. I feel like dancing, dancing. What did you for in the morning? I ain't feeling tired, no, 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 no. Just hold me tight and leave on the line. 'Cause I don't wanna go home. You put a spell on me, right where you want me to be. You make me feel like dancing. I wanna dance the night away. You make me feel like dancing. I wanna dance the night away. You make me feel like dancing. I feel like dancing, dancing, dance the night away. I feel like dancing, dancing, dance the night away. I feel like dancing, dancing, dance the night away. I feel like dancing, dancing.
All right. So, for the person who said they like to dance in, yeah, Leo Sawyer, you make me feel like dancing, right? Somebody know their music. So that's what I'm talking about. Knowing, music, and that dancing can incorporate the whole habit of I'm going to ask to go down to the tips on coping with burnout. Tips on next, not the second slide after this one. No, next one. All right. All right. For coping with burnout, you focus on solutions. You celebrate your achievements. You practice. You're to practice healthy sleep habits. So that person who says they like to sleep, they're on a good. Discuss work problems with your company, human resource department, or your supervisor. All right. So go back to the slide above. All right. Now I'm going to ask persons. This is what is called being mindful. A mindfulness exercise. And I want you to notice 5 things that you see around you that you would not normally notice. 5 things. You don't have to share them with me. I should have asked that you have a paper and jot it down. The 5 things that you see around you that you don't normally notice. All right, go ahead. Somebody's saying a table. All right. And taking the details of some of the things. You know, appreciate the craftsmanship of the table. Or if there's a little bit of flaw, the flaw makes it wonderful. As I just said, there's a little bit of flaw. The Japanese have a thing where if a, and Miss D maybe can be very clear with, help me with this. It's the art of where when they've broken ceramic that they use gold to join it back. Yes, fixing things with gold.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't remember the official name of it though.
Yeah. You know, and it becomes a unique, different thing altogether. All right, 4 things you can feel. You know, your phone in your hand. How does it feel? How does that feel? All right. I see it, Samar. I see it. Not sure I can pronounce it well, but I'm seeing it.
Yeah, man. So that would be kintsugi. Kintsugi.
Kintsugi. Right. So I'm saying no, 4 things that you can feel, whether it's your own hand, whether it's your clothes that you have on, just feel the fabric. How does the fabric feel? You know, touch it, or just be conscious of how it feels on your skin. All right, your laptop is very warm. Yeah. And tough, yes. Right? So we're looking at the 5 senses. All right. Other than my voice, what are the sounds around you? What are the sounds around you that you hear? I'm hearing music in my right ear on the side of the road, outside. And I'm also hearing music from my left ear. And it's 2 different kinds of music. I'm hearing the sound of the fan. And I'm hearing somebody talking. Can't hear what they're saying, but I'm hearing somebody talking. Right. Oh, somebody's hearing the weed whacker. 2 things that you can smell. Oh, somebody's hearing the TV. Okay. 2 things that you can smell. Oh boy, this one is not nice. Come here, smell the people them dinner across the road. I smelling my neighbor's dinner. Food and food. And Drew me, I tell you the neighbor them surround you. Food and food. Okay, somebody get very details. Okay, my crayons and the desk, you can feel that. Smell fried chicken, somebody smelling nail polish. Very good. All right. 1 thing that you can taste. I am going to pause and go and drink a glass of water. Yes, you should try and taste something. You should try and taste something. Taste something. Pause and taste something. So I'm going to go for my glass of water and taste that. Very refreshing. Holy bull and milk. Somebody say them can get some. Lord, have mercy. We maybe just eat one little slice. We can't eat the whole lights. And why I've asked you to do this 5 senses work is that part of burnout is that we detach ourselves and separate ourselves from the things around us. And if we can do this, it can bring us back. If we can just connect with our senses, it can bring us back. Lord, Mr. Minalite, and people with them food thing in about the peanut porridge. If we can do that, no, me and you, Tasha, now work with the ice cream. You never hear me say I'm diabetic. Can't go for the ice cream at all. Not going to go there with you on the ice cream, young lady. So the 5 senses, part of coping with stress or even burnout is being attuned to our 5 senses, being connected. Find yourself in a space. You see, when you take that break, you can do it by yourself or you can do it with somebody else. Get that accountability partner. Whether it's 1 person or 2 persons or more, 5 of you, because we're dealing with 5 senses. Connect with those individuals and say, let's take a break and let us attune ourselves with our senses. Let's observe what is happening. And as I say, it doesn't take a whole day. You have your 30 minutes lunch break. I say 30 minutes. For some people, it might be more. For some people, if you don't have 30 minutes, you need to ask for 30 minutes. And take that break at least once a week. And attune yourself to your 5 senses. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to me. I hope that it was beneficial.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bryan. Do anybody have any questions? Can put it in the chat or open your mic. Any question?
Also open for comments, emotional outbursts.
Oh, my word.
Well, what I'm seeing in the chat is everyone is saying thank you. Ms. Bryan, you really touched on some really good points when it comes on to burnout. You know, as I said earlier, you're just encouraging us to practice self-love, taking time out of your day and just to cater to your needs, your wants, and it's very important. You know, it's not everybody doesn't have the opportunity to come across people like you, Ms. Bryan, and to, you know, learn these tips and tricks, you know, how to implement it in our days. So we really appreciate it. I appreciate it. And thank you so much.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you very much, Sarah. Kayla, yes, it does. Stress There are some persons who are, when they're stressed or burnout, will eat more, and there are others who will eat less. So it depends on who you are as an individual, how you respond and react to stress or burnout. Some things that would cause you to be stressful or have a burnout might be what pushes somebody else. So you have to know, as Sarah was saying, self-love, know who you are as an individual, watch for the signs. Yes, if you're in a high stress working environment, identify your stressors. Or drink Pepsi. No, I'm not encourage you to drink no Pepsi. Drink water. Refresh you and cool you down better. Water gives you a lot more energy than Pepsi, you know?
Yes, it does. Ms. Bryan, a question.
Yes,
Would you say that I have a question. Can having high stress make you sleep more?
Yes, because persons with depression can go and sleep longer than normal.
Yeah.
So when you're high stressed and it leads to burnout, you can end up with depression, which can make you sleep. And that's a way of pulling away and locking down and shutting down. So you sleep more than normal because the stresses that you're experiencing are so overwhelming that for you as an individual, it means that you are going to shut down.
Okay. And if you're in a stressful environment, would it be best for an individual to try to get out of that environment or just learn how to deal with that environment?
It can be both. You have to make a plan, because if you're working in an environment that, all right, let me start with the work first and then we go on to the relationship. If you're working in an environment and you are just going to leave and you don't know how you are going to take care of your bills, what you can learn to do is to manage your response to the stress that is happening around you and you make plans for you to get another job in a different place or a different kind of job. Maybe is that, I remember when I just left high school, my first job was accounting clerk at Kingston Public Hospital. And I realized that that was not for me. So I started researching and finding out what was for me, because I liked accounts when I was going to high school. It was fun. But once I stepped in the working world and started doing this, and you have these deadlines that you have to meet, and the deadlines, it happens every month. I couldn't cope with that. Right? I could not cope with that stress of having to do the paycheck every month, of having to pay the bills, making sure everybody get payment and people are cussed because them check not ready and all of those kind of things. So that was not for me. So I found another path. But I planned so that I didn't just walk away like that. I planned and ensured that I found where I was more comfortable and where it was a pleasure for me to go to work every day and don't have to dread the end of the month, because me I have all kind of things to deal with. Can't find $1. I'm have to go back and sit up 24 hours to find that. So yes, that's in a working situation. If it is that you're having a supervisor that is not very pleasant, and I haven't spoken to you, find a mediator at your workplace and say to that, a person who's on the same level as the supervisor, share with them the experiences to see if it is that you're just not being overly sensitive. And then you talk to the mediator, have a mediator facilitator and say, okay, fine. This is the situation. This is what I'm experiencing and I'm feeling, the I words, we talk about the I word. I am feeling stressed. I am not comfortable with what is happening. I hope that, we can have a conversation and so this can change. So you've tried those options. And as I say, plan to move elsewhere. Don't just jump and leave because the situation is so stressful. And that's in a work situation. As a social worker, I've encountered persons who are in stressful situation where their partner, and I can tell you it's not only male who are verbally abusive to female, but females are verbally abusive to their male partners. And I've had conversations. I've had conversation where I've invited partners to come and see me, and we have a conversation. And sometimes it is you're saying one thing, but the person is hearing something else. And they don't realize. And the way that you deal with something is different from how your spouse, your partner deal with something. So if it is that you can afford to go to a therapist, do. If it is you are involved in a church and your minister is trained, you go there. Or somebody that you both respect to be in the middle and say, okay, fine. I think when you say some things, it hurts, or you're being verbally abusive to me, and I don't like that. And so on. And at all times, try that triangle situation, triangle. Somebody at the apex who can listen to both sides of the story and pick sense out of nonsense, as my grandmother would have said. Pick sense out of nonsense and try to sort it out in terms of the if it is that you're in a stressful situation where the partner is being physically abusive, run. And sometimes we're not able to, because we don't have the strength, and irrespective of whether we are not financially able to do anything, move. Because I've seen too much where the person who's been physically abused end up stabbing somebody and then end up getting in another problem altogether, where you now have to go to the police because you have stabbed somebody and you never ever reported that you were being abused. You never mention it to somebody because so on. But those things can be stressful. And as I mentioned earlier, you're in a situation where you're a caregiver for a child, your parent, or a sibling who is health situation is not on par. If it's even an hour, take an hour to move out of that situation. If it is that you can't move out, there are times when the person may be sleeping. And I say, simple. I tell you, you feel a lot of stress in your foot. Have a nice shower. Boil some hot water. Get a basin. Get either regular salt, throw it in the water. Get our Epsom salt if you can get it. Baking soda if you can get it. And put your feet in that water as hot as you can bear it. With either the baking soda, the Epsom salt, or the regular salt. And just put your feet in there. Close your eyes and have your feet in that water as hot as you can bear it until it gets cold. And that helps in terms of stress. It's simple. It's not, don't take a lot of money. But it is, if you are in a stressful situation like that in terms of a care, because it is stressful when you're caring for somebody. When that person is sleeping in the night when they've gone to bed, you might not be able to take an hour to leave the place, and you can put on some music that soothes you and relax you while you're in that space, doing that to you for yourself. Try it and see how it works. Don't have to be in terms of a carer situation, but just try it. You come home from work one evening, tired, stressed out, make everybody go after everybody. If you have kids and stuff, and they've gone to their bed, Just do that. That little hot water. After a shower, you get a shower, you just put your feet in there and just close your eyes and just feel the heat on your foot bottom. I said baking soda, salt, or Epsom salt, any one of those things.
All right, so thank you so much, Ms. Bryan. Anybody else have anything to say, anything to share? No? Thank you again, Ms. Bryan. Oh, someone? Shamara?
Yes, I am the
Okay.
someone. Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much, Jacqueline, for sharing with us today. I really, really appreciated just you going over stress, especially for us at one-on-one who were, remotely in our own little environments, our own little bubbles. It's really hard for us to kind of separate sometimes and just be like, hey, we need to hold ourselves accountable at times, or be able to kind of just move forward and just to understand that, sometimes things can be a lot, and we need to kind of step away and just kind of, take some time to breathe and do the exercises and just to reclaim back ourselves. So I do appreciate the advice and the feedback and everything that you've said up to this point. A really good way, I think, of us kind of coming closer to the year ending, a good way for us to remind ourselves of that. So thank you so much again. So that is it from me. Sarah, anything else that you want to say?
No, I said what I needed to say, Ms. Bryan. Really good presentation, and really appreciate you taking time out, especially on a Sunday,
Yes.
to facilitate this. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a wonderful
All right. So, Shamar, we're going to be doing the giveaway section now.
Yes,
so you
ma'am.
can lead into it.
All right, no problemo. So I am now aware that we are into our survey section here. So I'm going to just wait for our lovely team members to kind of drop the survey link. Khalil has already done so. I want everyone to kind of go over onto Zoho surveys and be able to complete the survey for a chance to win a prize. Now, this time we're doing things a little bit differently in terms of how we're doing our giveaway, as this will be a raffle. Now, the raffle will be all of the entries being put from those who have taken the survey, and then from that we will have a random draw, and then your prize will be revealed in the Telegram community. So yes, again, the survey link has been posted in the chat. We urge you to complete the survey for a chance to win a prize. And once again, that prize will be in the form of a raffle giveaway, with the prize being given in the Telegram community. Alrighty, so I'm looking forward to the responses. I am looking forward to everybody just completing the survey, giving you about 5 minutes to do so. Shouldn't be too long. So we should be here again back at about 4:45. So 4:45, we come back here and we wrap things up for our webinar. Sorry, can play us some lovely music, please.
I don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need. I don't care about the presents underneath the Christmas tree. I just want you for my own, more than you could ever know. Make my wish come true. All I want for
Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen. I will be leaving you. Okay, thanks.
I'm gonna get to know you better this Christmas. And as we trim the tree, how much fun it's gonna be together. This Christmas, the fireside is blazing bright. Whoa, we're caroling through the night. Whoa, this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me. Whoa, ha. Let's go. Presents and cards are here. My world is filled with cheer and you. This Christmas, and as I look around, your eyes are shine the town they do. This Christmas, the fireside is blazing bright, and we're caroling through the night. And this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me. Whoa. Oh, shake a hand now. Na, 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 na.
All right, everyone. I want to thank you for coming out. I know it's a Sunday and we're truly grateful that you took time out to participate in this at this event, and we can't wait for 2023 for the other upcoming events, and I hope you guys show up. And thank you again from One Academy team. All right, so bye-bye everyone, take care.
All right, everybody, take care, be safe, enjoy the rest of your lovely Sunday.
Take care until next time.
Thank you, everyone. We'll notify the winner on Tuesday.
All right, sounds good.